Hi, and welcome to Late Night with Best Delegate. Sarah and I have been spending all weekend here at Columbia Model United Nations in New York, CMUNNY, live blogging the conference, and I'm here with CMUNNY Secretary General Karen Woodin-Rodriguez. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Ryan, for having me. I'm really excited to welcome you guys to CMUNNY, and I'm glad that Best Delegate is here, and you always welcome here.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us. So we just had a few questions for Karen, and our first tonight is, what is the best part of being Secretary General?
That is really a hard question. I'd have to say there are two components to that answer. One of it is just being able to interact with the Secretariat. We're 10 members in the Secretariat, myself included, and being able to see them every week and just brainstorming, like, what is the best way of doing this? Thinking through the issues. I think we've really become a cohesive team where it's very horizontal, and I've really enjoyed creating CMUNNY with them. I think they're very dedicated and committed individuals, and I've just loved becoming closer friends with them. And the other part is just basically going, and I said this at my interview when I was interviewing to be Secretary General, going from there's nothing and then there's CMUNNY. There's do you know what I'm saying? It's like a weird thing to say, but creating something from scratch and then you see everyone come here, it's just a great feeling.
It becomes more than a plan on a piece of paper.
Exactly, and more than just like an email that you're sending, and more than just let's plan this abstract thing, and now it's here.
You must
really
sit back and be like, wow. This
I'm just like, it actually happened.
It happened.
And I think especially right now, it's Saturday night, you know, we're almost at the end tomorrow, it's like the last session. So I feel a lot more relaxed right now. I'm like, okay, it happened. It's okay. We're good.
The tough part is over. Now you can cruise a little bit.
A little bit. We still have to go through the logistics of closing, but yeah.
Okay, cool. The thing about CMUNNY is that it's a small crisis-based conference, and you feature a number of specialized committees, including some fictional ones. This year you're simulating the Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
How do you guys go about selecting committees?
How do we go about selecting committees? Okay, so we have an application process in the spring, and a lot of veterans apply for committees, so it's just basically we encourage people to think about something that they're really passionate about and just apply for a committee. So what they need to think about is, how can you turn a passion that you have or an interest that you have into a decision-making body? That's really what you need, a decision-making body. So that's why with Lord of the Rings, we have like a Lord of the Rings aficionado, so I'm doing it. For the Macbeth Council, that's the president of our club. He just loves Macbeth, and he's like, I want to make a committee out of this. And we're like, okay, that's fine. So then with the application, what we're looking for is, well, we ask them, of course, for their information, what the committee would look like, what kind of crises they would have, what kind of decisions would the committee be able to make. And then we ask them for a writing sample to make sure that they're able to write a background guide, which is usually not a problem. And then we interview them. And at the interview, we're really asking them questions as to what kind of powers would your committee have? Like, can they actually make decisions about something? And then, are there enough issues outside of the committee that they could be dealing with? Is one thing. And the other thing, are they going to be working together a lot? Or is there enough internal strife within the committee to make it interesting? Because otherwise it's just really boring if everyone just agrees all the time. And then, so that's in terms of just the committee. And in terms of the breadth that we want to have, we really try to keep having present day, we like to have historical, futuristic, and then throwing into fictional. We really want every delegate to have something that they like at CMUNNY. So we really try to keep it balanced. So we have United Fruit Company because we want something dealing with Latin America. So
very cool.
Sometimes if we have to choose between two committees, and if we already have, for instance, two that deal with the United States, we'll usually turn one down and ask them to switch it to if we don't have a topic in Africa, if they have an interest, we'll try to do that. It doesn't always happen because you also need people to be passionate about it. That's what keeps them interesting, but we try to do that.
It's very cool that people can take their passions and turn it into a Model UN committee.
I mean, we are really, I think everyone who does Model UN is really geeky and nerdy, in a very good way. I mean, you kind of have to be like a nerd to do Model UN, so.
I don't know what that says about me.
I know, right? No, but in a good way,
No, very cool.
Very intense people. I love to work with them.
And here's the thing. At Best Delegate, we are dedicated to helping students use Model UN to get into college and find jobs. And clearly, Model UN has been an important part of your life. You've dedicated a lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears into this. But tell us, what has Model UN meant to you?
You know, it's really changed. I started in high school, and I really wanted to join Model UN because I wanted to learn about global issues. I wanted to learn what the United Nations was, how did it work, and it was more of that, and I also wanted to hone my debate skills and my ability to negotiate. So in high school, it was very much educational. I really felt that it was a great tool to learn and it indeed was, and it also helped me get into Columbia, obviously. But then in college, I think it's changed a little bit. It's become more, yes, to debate, definitely a lot more to negotiate.
Okay.
But also, I think it's more of a social experience also in college. I feel like, especially being at Columbia, my biggest group of friends is from CIRCA, the umbrella organization that houses CMUNNY,
Okay.
Columbia International Relations Council and Association, and that's where I've been my closest friends. That's where I spend most of my time. And also traveling to conferences is so fun because you just spent like 3 or 4 days with 12 people. You forget about school, you're just at another place, just being really intense in debate and then partying really hard. So it's like, I think it's also, it's more of a community, I think, also in college. Because you keep seeing the same people when you travel. So it's definitely, it's meant, I think my fondest memories in college, definitely. And just honing skills, obviously. And also just being Secretary General, management skills, leadership skills. But mostly, I think, when I think about college, I'm going to think of Model UN. With my fondest memories. I mean, I'm sure you probably can relate to that. Because I know you were a Sec Gen as well, for Sec C, you traveled.
No, I definitely can relate to that. And no, I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's just so much fun. I mean, I just love being in the crisis room. I just love seeing people getting really excited and being a mob, rebelling. I just love how everyone gets into it. We're a community.
Seems to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, on Friday nights we have a game night, which sounds really lame, that on Friday night we're in New York playing board games, but it's actually a lot of fun. So we do things like that. It's really a tight community. So I love that.
Very good. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I really appreciate you guys being here.
Yes, indeed. And thank you for joining us on Late Night with Best Delegate. Good night.
Thank you.